Quotes on Forgiveness. Compiled by Zaviad.com. Here are some quotes on forgiveness. Forgiveness is the fragrance that the violet sheds on the heel that has crushed it. Mark Twain. To forgive is to set a prisoner free, and discover that the prisoner was you. Louis B. Smedes. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Mahatma Gandhi. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Oscar Wilde. The stupid neither forgive nor forget, the naive forgive and forget, the wise forgive but do not forget. The stupid neither forgive nor forget, the naive forgive and forget, the wise forgive but do not forget. Thomas Sass. All major religious traditions carry basically the same message, that is love, compassion and forgiveness. The important thing is they should be part of our daily lives. Dalai Lama. Forgive, forget. Bear with the faults of others as you would have them bear with yours. Phillips Brooks. Forgiveness is a funny thing. It warms the heart and cools the sting. William Arthur Ward. I think the first step is to understand that forgiveness does not exonerate the perpetrator. Forgiveness liberates the victim. It's a gift you give yourself. T. D. Jakes. You can't forgive without loving. And I don't mean sentimentality. I don't mean mush. I mean having enough courage to stand up and say, I forgive. I'm finished with it. Maya Angelou? It's not an easy journey to get to a place where you forgive people. But it is such a powerful place, because it frees you. Tyler Perry. Before we can forgive one another, we have to understand one another. Without forgiveness, life is governed by an endless cycle of resentment and retaliation. Roberto Osaggioli. When you hold resentment toward another, you are bound to that person or condition by an emotional link that is stronger than steel. Forgiveness is the only way to dissolve that link and get free. Catherine Ponder. Forgiveness is the remission of sins. For it is by this that what has been lost, and was found, is saved from being lost again. Saint Austin. The remedy for life's broken pieces is not classes, workshops or books. Don't try to heal the broken pieces. Just forgive. Ian Levanzant. How unhappy is he who cannot forgive himself? Publilius Cyrus. To understand somebody else as a human being, I think, is about as close to real forgiveness as one can get. David Small. When you hold resentment toward another, you are bound to that person or condition by an emotional link that is stronger than steel. Forgiveness is the only way to dissolve that link and get free. Catherine Ponder. Let us forgive each other, only then will we live in peace. Leo Nikolaevich Tolstoy. Before we can forgive one another, we have to understand one another. Emma Goldman. Not forgiving is like drinking rat poison and then waiting for the rat to die. Anne Lamott. To forgive is the highest, most beautiful form of love. In return, you will receive untold peace and happiness. Robert Muller. Most of us can forgive and forget, we just don't want the other person to forget that we forgave. Ivan Ball. We read that we ought to forgive our enemies, but we do not read that we ought to forgive our friends. Sir Francis Bacon. Always forgive your enemies, nothing annoys them so much. Oscar Wilde. The act of forgiveness takes place in our own mind. It really has nothing to do with the other person. Louise Hay. One always begins to forgive a place as soon as it's left behind. Charles Dickens. The hardest thing in life is to forgive. But hate is self-destructive. If you hate somebody, you're not hurting the person you hate, you're hurting yourself. Forgiveness is healing. Louis Zamperini. He that cannot forgive others breaks the bridge over which he himself must pass if he would ever reach heaven, for every one has need to be forgiven. George Herbert. We should never be surprised when God keeps his word to forgive those who confess their sins. C. Sproul. When a partner does make a mistake, it isn't acceptable for the other partner to dwell on it and constantly remind the spouse of the mistake. Forgiveness can make a marriage whole again. Elijah Davidson. The forgiveness of sins extended to Christians by God is a wonderful blessing, but it does not give one a license to sin. If you do not practice empathy and forgiveness for your actions, it will be impossible to practice empathy with others. Laura Raskin. Jesus died so we humans can find mercy and forgiveness. Lee Summer, Buffy Andrews. Don't ever underestimate the power of forgiveness. I've seen it free people. I've seen it lift burdens that had weighed them down and kept them from moving on. Forgiveness is for you, not the other person. It's something you do inside yourself that you feel in your body and heart that releases you from your past and frees you to live life fully. Barbara J. Hunt. Real forgiveness is a lifelong commitment. You must practice it every day. Richard Daley. Forgiveness eliminates the wounds of the past from the mind and the heart. Ian Levanzant. We are not perfect, forgive others as you would want to be forgiven. Catherine Pulsifer. Forgiveness is like faith. You have to keep reviving it. Mason Cooley. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Tony Robbins. True forgiveness is not an action after the fact, it is an attitude with which you enter each moment. David Ridge. Forgiveness is the sweetest revenge. Isaac Friedman. Be the one who nurtures and builds. Be the one who has an understanding and a forgiving heart, one who looks for the best in people. Leave people better than you found them. Marvin J. Ashton. Without forgiveness, life is governed by an endless cycle of resentment and retaliation. Roberto Osajoli. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Mahatma Gandhi. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Nelson Mandela. To be wronged is nothing, unless you continue to remember it. Confucius. Be the one who nurtures and builds. Be the one who has an understanding and a forgiving heart, one who looks for the best in people. Leave people better than you found them. Marvin J. Ashton. If you can't forgive and forget, pick one. Robert Brough. Forgiveness isn't approving what happened. It's choosing to rise above it. Robin Sharma. The stupid neither forgive nor forget, the naive forgive and forget, the wise forgive but do not forget. Thomas Sass. Throughout life people will make you mad, disrespect you and treat you bad. Let God deal with the things they do, cause hate in your heart will consume you too. Will Smith. Forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning. Desmond Tutu. Once a woman has forgiven her man, she must not reheat his sins for breakfast. Marlene Dietrich. True forgiveness is when you can say, "Thank you for that experience, Oprah Winfrey." For more quotes like this, kindly visit Zaviad.com. Thank you.